Indecision is a decision, and it's screwing you over. Are you waiting for the right moment, or are you just choosing fear and calling it strategy? Here's what no one tells you. Not deciding is deciding. You're just choosing to let life happen to you instead of making life happen for you. Do you find yourself stuck between options for weeks, months, or even years? Do you research every possible angle but never actually pull the trigger? Do you tell yourself you're being careful when you're really just being scared? Your indecision isn't protecting you from making the wrong choice. It's guaranteeing that you'll miss the right opportunities. Today, we're dismantling the myth that indecision is safe and giving you the tools to make decisions that move your life forward, even when they're not perfect. We're covering 5 reality checks that will change everything. First, why indecision feels safe but is actually dangerous. Second, why there's no such thing as a perfect choice anyway. Third, the regret test that cuts through confusion fast. Fourth, when to trust your gut versus your logic. And fifth, how to choose, commit, and adjust as you go. 1. Indecision feels safe, but it's a lie. Let's start with something that might sting. You think you're being careful, but you're just stuck. You've convinced yourself that endlessly weighing options is wisdom when it's actually paralysis disguised as prudence. Indecision masquerades as perfectionism, but it's fear in a fancy outfit. You're not being thorough, you're being terrified. You're not being strategic, you're being stuck. You're not protecting yourself from bad outcomes. You're protecting yourself from any outcomes. The cruel irony is that while you're sitting there trying to make the perfect decision, life is making decisions for you. That job opportunity expires. That relationship moves on. That investment window closes. That creative project gets started by someone else who was willing to begin before they felt ready. Progress loves momentum, and indecision kills both confidence and opportunity. Every day you don't decide is a day someone else is moving forward with their imperfect plan while you're perfecting your paralysis. Mel Robbins puts it perfectly. Hesitation is the kiss of death. You know what to do, you just don't do it. Most of the time, your first instinct is right, but you talk yourself out of it because you're addicted to the illusion of control that comes with endless analysis. Your brain tricks you into thinking that more information equals better decisions. But there's a point where additional research becomes procrastination with a purpose. You're not gathering data. You're gathering reasons to stay exactly where you are. 2. There's no such thing as a perfect choice. Here's a truth that might set you free. Waiting for the perfect path is how people waste their 20s, 30s, 40s, and beyond. The perfect choice doesn't exist because you can't predict the future, you can't control all variables, and you can't know how you'll feel about a decision until you're living with its consequences. Most of your choices won't ruin your life, but not choosing, that just might. Because while you're waiting for certainty in an uncertain world, everyone else is making progress with incomplete information and course-correcting along the way. Think about the best decisions you've ever made. Were they perfect when you made them? Did you have all the information you needed? Or did you make them based on the best information you had at the time and then make them work through effort and adaptation? Progress beats precision every single time. A good decision made quickly is almost always better than a perfect decision made too late, because by the time you've analyzed every possible outcome, the landscape has changed, new opportunities have emerged, and old ones have disappeared. The people who achieve the most are the ones who make perfect decisions. They're the ones who make decisions quickly and then commit to making those decisions work. They understand that the power isn't in choosing correctly the first time. It's in choosing and then using their skills, energy, and determination to create success from that choice. 3. The regret test, a decision filter that works fast. Time for a decision-making tool that cuts through confusion like a knife through butter. When you're stuck between options, ask yourself one simple question. In 1 year, what will I regret more? Doing this or not doing it? Your future self is the only opinion that actually matters in this equation. Not your family's opinion, not your friend's advice, not society's expectations. The person who will live with the consequences of your decision is the person you'll be a year from now, and that person deserves your consideration. This isn't about predicting the future perfectly. It's about understanding your own values and priorities clearly enough to know which direction points toward growth and which direction points toward stagnation. Here's another framework that works: the 5-5-5 rule. Will this decision matter in 5 days, 5 months, 5 years? This helps you calibrate the appropriate amount of mental energy to spend on different types of decisions. If it won't matter in 5 days, spend 5 minutes deciding. If it won't matter in 5 months, spend 5 hours deciding. Only if it will matter in 5 years should you spend 5 weeks thinking about it. Most decisions fall into the first two categories, but we treat them like they're life or death choices. The regret test works because regret isn't really about the outcome. It's about the process. You rarely regret taking action and having it not work out exactly as planned. You almost always regret not taking action when you knew you should have. 4. Gut versus logic. When to trust what? Here's something that will save you years of confusion. Your gut and your logic are both valuable, but they're designed for different types of decisions. Learning when to trust which one is the difference between making decisions that feel right and decisions that are right. Trust your gut when you're dealing with people. Your intuition is incredibly sophisticated at reading micro-expressions, energy, and patterns that your conscious mind hasn't fully processed yet. If something feels off about a person, a relationship, or a situation involving human dynamics, your gut is probably picking up on something real. Trust logic when you're dealing with plans, systems, and measurable outcomes. Numbers don't lie, and data doesn't have feelings. When you're making financial decisions, career moves, or strategic choices that can be analyzed objectively, let logic lead. Your gut is your emotional compass. It tells you what feels aligned with your values and desires. Logic is your GPS. It tells you the most efficient route to get where you want to go. You need both, but you need to know which one should be driving in different situations. The problems come when you use them backwards. When you ignore your gut about people because the logic seems sound, you often end up in toxic relationships or bad partnerships. When you ignore logic about plans because your gut wants something, you often end up broke or behind. The sweet spot is when both your gut and your logic are pointing in the same direction. When they're in conflict, that's information worth paying attention to, not confusion worth avoiding. 5. Here's the framework that high achievers use but nobody talks about. Choose quickly, commit fully, and adjust as you go. You're not trying to make the perfect decision. You're trying to make a decision and then make it perfect through your actions. Start messy. Pivot often. That's how growth actually works in the real world. You could steer a parked car, so make a move so you have something to adjust. Clarity comes after action, not before it. The myth of getting it right the first time is keeping you stuck. The reality is that most successful people got where they are by making quick decisions, committing fully to those decisions, and then course-correcting based on real feedback from the real world. This doesn't mean being reckless. It means being willing to be imperfect in service of progress. It means understanding that most decisions are reversible or adjustable, and the few that aren't usually become obvious through the process of elimination. Think of decision-making like driving at night. You can only see as far as your headlights reach, but you can make the entire journey that way. You don't need to see the whole path from the beginning. You just need to see far enough to take the next step. Jeff Bezos talks about Type 1 and Type 2 decisions. Type 1 decisions are irreversible and consequential. These deserve careful thought. Type 2 decisions are reversible. These should be made quickly. Most of the decisions you're agonizing over are Type 2 decisions that you're treating like Type 1 decisions. Okay, time for tough love conclusion that's going to sting but will ultimately set you free. You're not confused. You're just scared of being wrong. But guess what? Staying stuck is the worst kind of wrong. You're wasting time trying to protect your ego when you should be building your life. The world isn't waiting for you to figure it out. It's moving on without you. While you're researching and analyzing and consulting everyone except your own courage, other people are making moves, making mistakes, making adjustments, and making progress. Your indecision isn't noble, it's narcissistic. You think your choice is so important that it deserves endless consideration, but the truth is, most decisions matter way less than you think they do. You're not choosing between life and death. You're choosing between path A and path B, both of which can lead to good places if you're willing to do the work. Stop bullshitting yourself that you need more information. You have enough information. You've always had enough information. What you don't have is the courage to act on what you already know. Your future self isn't going to thank you for being careful. They're going to thank you for being brave. They're going to thank you for choosing growth over comfort, action over analysis, and progress over perfection. The cost of inaction is always higher than the cost of imperfect action. Now here's your challenge for today. Pick one thing you've been putting off and make the call today, not tomorrow, not next week, not when you have more information. Today, text the person, apply for the thing. Say yes, say no, buy the ticket, book the trip, start the project, end the relationship, but say something. Drop a comment below and tell me, I finally made a decision about. Let's normalize imperfect action, because that's how momentum begins. Your life is waiting for you to stop planning it and start living it. If this video gave you permission to stop waiting for perfect and start moving toward progress, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We're building a community of people who choose action over analysis and growth over comfort. Share this with someone who has been stuck in decision paralysis. Sometimes we all need a reminder that done is better than perfect. Remember, you're not broken, you're untrained. And the skill of making good decisions quickly can be developed starting today. Until next time, stop waiting for certainty and start creating it through your actions.